Hey guys, welcome to the Next Gen Nation podcast. This is Joe.
And I'm Timothy.
We are here alone today. Dominica
Died again.
He's dead to us again. Wah, wah, wah. Anyways, we're here to talk about some of the stuff coming out of PAX and some of the recent news this week. And then we're going to talk about fighting games a bit because we are really passionate about them. Whereas Dominique, he doesn't play as many, so we decided this would be a good week to talk about them.
Yep.
So
games are fun.
Yeah, they give us lots of entertainment.
And you can bag on each other for not being as good as the other person.
That's sad. No one here does that, Timothy. I don't know what you're talking about ever. That would never happen. Ever. So I guess I want to talk about stuff that happened earlier this week, and then we'll move from there. First off, I think a big announcement. It's not too big, but it's interesting. Mad Max is no longer on PS3 and Xbox 360. I think what that is saying is they'd rather focus on the new gen consoles, which kind of last generation, a lot of games kind of got had that rode the line of PS2,
right.
PS3. A lot of that was happening, and now I think it's good to see the developers are kind of pushing towards next gen consoles sooner.
I haven't actually heard of the Mad Max games. Well, I've heard of them, but I think
it's just
really...
the one. I think it's just this one.
Right. I've heard of it, but I haven't actually...
They've only shown one trailer.
Right.
So this isn't you're not missing much right now.
What kind of game is it though?
It looks like it's more think Fallout, but it looks more actiony.
Oh.
Okay. Combine Uncharted and Fallout.
Okay.
With driving aspects. That's what we have right now.
Right.
So it's got some hand-to-hand combat. It's got some shooting. It's got a lot of driving because that's a big part of the series.
Right.
I don't know. It seems pretty interesting. I was more interested in the fact that it seems like companies are more pushing that next gen exclusive as opposed to riding on that 360 PS3 band. I mean 360. This is what happened with the Xbox is it just got kind of left behind. But PS3 for a while, I'm surprised that they're moving away from that.
Yeah, yeah. They were going at it for a while. Even it's been a year since the PS4 came out, and they're still kind of
it's holding on. Sony said that they will support the PS3 for a 10-year life cycle. Same thing happened with the PS2. It had a 10-year life cycle. That was that they guaranteed, and it's happened. But it's good to see that some big AAAs aren't being held back. Arkham Knight, for instance, that's coming out on June 2nd. They had to get rid of the 360. There's no PS3 360. They didn't get rid of it. I just think they never had one because they didn't want to hold it back.
Right.
I mean, I guess that's good to see. Let's see here. GameStop's accepting PS2s again. I thought that was kind of funny.
I thought they were still due.
No, they stopped for a while. They stopped for a year, and now it's they're accepting them again for $25 each, as long as you have the cables and stuff.
Huh.
Do you still have your PS2?
I do.
I don't have mine anymore.
Yeah, I do still have. I like to collect things.
Oh no, so... I regret getting rid of mine, but I was putting it towards the PS3 at the time.
Yeah. But my PS2 is kind of just sitting in my brother's closet right now.
Oh.
I haven't really pulled it out because I don't really have anything to play with it anymore. I have the games, but they're really scratched up because I was still young and wasn't good at taking care of my stuff.
Yeah.
So
now, but you were younger.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I take care of my stuff. All my discs are still perfect right now for everything after PS2.
That's true. Yeah. No, it's true.
But yeah, I like to collect things, so I don't plan on trading in my PS2 ever. I'm just gonna have it forever.
You just having it.
Yeah,
I get that. I wish I was a little bit older so I could have a SNES or something like that, and feel like I had that from my childhood, but I don't have anything like that.
I do want to get myself a PS1 just so I can have it because I never
have the collection.
Yeah, I never actually had a PS1. My cousin did.
You should get a PSP Go. Then you'll have the PSP collection. Nailed it. There you go.
What's next?
Okay, so we have Rock Band 4 is coming to Xbox One and PS4 in 2015. Yeah. You've never played the Rock Band?
I never played Rock Band.
I
was a Guitar Hero guy. I knew people that had Rock Band, but I never actually had a chance to play with them.
Okay, level with me here. When Rock Band 4 comes out, are you even at all interested in getting it?
I don't want to have to pay for all the extra peripherals.
What if I told you they were working on the peripherals to get them to like carry over? Well, not you, I guess. As a consumer, say you were a consumer who had bought previous Rock Band games.
Right.
Would you even be interested? What if your Guitar Hero guitar worked, for instance?
I don't have my Guitar Hero guitar anymore.
That's depressing.
I don't know what happened to it. It's just kind of disappeared. But if I was like a consumer that's had the previous Rock Band games, I would probably get the next one considering like I've gotten the previous ones. Rock Band wasn't necessarily a bad game or anything. I mean, it's just like it was very similar to Guitar Hero in that like it was the whole rhythm game, them coming at you and stuff, but like it offered more instruments and stuff, so I would probably still get it if they carried over the peripherals.
That's what they're working on. They're working with Sony and Microsoft to like carry over the PS3 360 ones to PS4 and Xbox One.
If I had to
because they realize.
Yeah, if I had to buy them again, then I probably wouldn't get it because it would be too expensive.
Yeah, and then you have to keep them somewhere. That was like the big pain with them, though.
It's
like,
it takes a lot of space.
Where do you keep a freaking drum set?
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, I was a big fan of Rock Band. I was always rhythm and vocals.
Right.
I always did the rhythm guitar and the vocals, and then had someone else do lead.
Oh wait, there was one time I did play Rock Band. Actually, I played the drums because I was curious, so my cousin borrowed it from someone.
I was so bad at drums. Like I'm so glad I found something I could do on expert because I couldn't do drums for crap. I couldn't do it on medium.
Right. It took me a while to get used to it because
it's weird because
it's multitasking. You gotta use your feet too. So I had a hard time doing that.
It was just weird because I'm actually pretty good at drums.
Right.
I can't do it in a game.
Well, I mean, the drums work similar to an actual drum set, but the fact that you have to look at the things.
That was the thing. It was like acknowledging that there was like something coming at me, and I had to do that. That was
if you just had the whole thing, like you'd be fine. But
it's. I still really like Rock Band. I play it with people. It's just no one like whips out their Rock Band set anymore. If people did, I'd be down. It's just they don't do it anymore. And I'd be interested to see if anyone like starts doing that again, at least for a couple months, where it's just like, hey, let's get the band back together. But like, I mean, that's what they seem to be aiming for with this one. It's like more like parties, like drunk people, New Year's Eve, Christmas, just whip out the Rock Band set. I mean,
it is kind of more of a party game.
No, it's totally a party game. Like I think they kind of lost that for a little while with like 2 and especially 3 with the pro instruments, where it was like, and they've acknowledged this, where it's like, yeah, we may have messed up a little bit with trying to teach people the stuff. Right. Maybe just make it a party game more again.
Yeah. Like with a game like Rock Band, it seems more like a game I would play by myself for like a couple days, and then I would probably put it aside and wait to play with other people because I wouldn't be able to just go and play, like unlock all the songs and everything, and then I'm done.
Yeah, playing vocals by yourself is kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. I never really did the vocals for Rock Band, so.
Well, and I was actually talking to our friend. I don't think you know him, Walter. I told him I do vocal this season. He's like, yeah, I could never do that unless I had like Liquid Courage going for me. Like vocals are, I think, the scariest thing because they're not like an instrument. They're not a fake instrument.
It's coming from you.
It's coming straight from you. Like that's like the one thing that is straight. Like drums are really close, especially with like the pro set. You just have like another extra cymbal. Yeah. And you're like a set of cymbals, and you're like, oh, it's just drums. But like vocals is like from easy to expert, you are still just singing no matter what. Yeah. So yeah, I could totally get why that's scary. I was never like I could never do lead and like in vocals at the same time because that's hard if you have to do like a solo and do all that. Like it's multitasking. Thing I'm really excited for is Phantom Pain. Finally got a release date. September 1st.
You've been talking about that for a while.
Phantom Pain looks so good. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 5, in case you guys don't know. For Xbox One and PS4, I think PC. PC is coming out like 2 weeks later, I believe. Like, but
Ground Zeroes was like a prequel to it, right?
Ground Zeroes was like a bit of a prequel. It's like Ground Zeroes is set between Peace Walker and Phantom Pain. Peace Walker was the PSP one back in like 2008 or 9, something like that. Right. I might be getting my ears mixed up. But like that game was great, and I actually got a lot of people on board, especially because like, you play 1 through 4, and they're kind of like their own self-contained saga. But like Peace Walker and Phantom Pain kind of feed into it a little bit because you learn about Snake's, like Solid Snake's father, Big Boss, who is like the original Snake. Oh, what's going on?
No, you're fine. You're just yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
we were just messing with the audio a little bit. Okay.
I was messing with it. But no, I think Phantom Pain looks really good. I think it's nice to see the multiplayer bit. We got a little bit more of that. Like we got a little bit of an analysis from people. Like that was on I think IGN or something, or like Polygon or something. They've talked a little bit more about like having Metal Gear Online have like Snake and Ocelot and stuff like that, and you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Not a clue.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a one-sided conversation. You still need Metal Gear Solid is still my favorite game.
Right.
You need to play it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
That's totally it's still worth playing. Even though it's a PS1 game, it it feeds into like all that like cinematic. Like we all talk about like cinematic gaming today, but like that was doing it on the PS1.
Right.
Easily better than a lot of stuff nowadays. Even if it was like coming from a really wonky Japanese script, it's still really good. What else happened? Oh yeah, Source 2 and Unreal Engine were both like kind of like Unreal 4 is now free.
Yeah.
And Source 2 was announced and is free, which is crazy. Like in the back of my head, I think I told you this today. I was like imagining Source 2 when they announced it. It'd have
Half-Life.
There'd be like this other game that they would show off with it that might be a continuation of a series and might be the third entry in it. And then there was nothing, and I died a little inside. So
What if Half-Life 3 came out when Source 3 comes out?
Oh, God.
They're just waiting for 3 to come out.
They're biding their time, getting us all off keel.
But I think it's really cool that those programs are coming out for free for people to use now.
Yeah.
It gives them a chance to really play with it and like practice, game design and all that stuff.
Yeah, indie developers are really like definitely the future of the industry, and like without having access to engines like this that would cost them thousands of dollars otherwise. I think I think it's totally worth it. It's gonna be interesting to see like what Epic does nowadays, because they're not gonna be like just running Unreal all the time, because like they sold Gears of War and like they don't own that anymore, and Unreal's free now, so I'm waiting to see what's coming from them actually.
Right.
No, Source 2's like I need to like actually see it in action more, I think, but I'm glad that they've finally updated it, because it's gotten a little I mean that engine's like super flexible and like it optimizes to like everything. Freaking runs on my crap laptop, which runs like nothing. I can run like that on Macs, which is ridiculous. But no, I'm like actually it's good to see the Source 2's like finally announced. What is that? Oh yeah, and Hearthstone. Yeah, now we're getting to like PAX news, because PAX is going on right now. We know like a little bit like did you see the Overwatch reveal? You didn't.
No, not yet.
They announced 2 new characters. One's named, can you look this up real quick? I think it's Nistra. She's like a Russian special forces woman, and she's just like this buff, massive buffness. And then there's this other dude named McCree, who's just a cowboy with a 6-shooter. And they announced the beta, which is coming in the fall. And I believe like they haven't really said anything about like specific days or anything, but like they've talked about fall and they've shown off those 2 characters. What are you looking at? Anyways,
I'm looking for that character.
Oh yeah, and then the other PAX news that we have so far from Blizzard is Hearthstone's Black Rock Mountain is coming out in April. That is the new expansion with 17 bosses and 5 wings, which is ridiculous. And with those bosses, you get 31 new cards. And then they've also finally unveiled about when we're gonna get the iPhone release, which looks like it's gonna be about within the next couple months. Through ironing out, all the crap for getting it to work on phone screens. They're still in alpha, but that's the thing about it though. It's really hard to get a game like Hearthstone to actually work. Zarya, look at her though. She's freaking.
Oh my god.
Buff.
Jeez.
She's a thick piece of woman right there. And then McCree, who's just like he'll probably be like my secondary or third character.
Right.
Just because he's a cowboy. Yeah. I like 6-shooters.
Cowboy with a really big revolver.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a big revolver.
He looks just like he basically looks like Clint Eastwood. Like he's just Clint Eastwood.
He does.
He's got the parka. He's got the beard. He's got the hat. But no, I'm excited for that a lot. I still want to see something about consoles, hopefully. I'd like that. I mean, if it stays PC exclusive, it's not the end of the world. It means they can be a bit more flexible with how they manage it, but
Right.
because like with patches and stuff, it's harder to get those on consoles as fast, but we'll see. I think with that, we actually got to the end of the news. We got Phantom, yeah.
Should we talk a little bit about the new 4K console thingy?
Oh yeah, NVIDIA,
Yeah,
the Shield?
NVIDIA Shield 4K.
Yeah, this thing is pretty beefy.
It's a beefy product.
It's like it's a console that's not a console.
The main thing is
Kind of like
the
the
amount of
Steam
content that's actually on it, because it plays Android games.
This
they
is
haven't
so
really,
strange.
Yeah,
to
they
me.
released this. They're coming out with this thing, but they don't really have any games for it that will really show
What
what it's
worries
capable
me is
of.
like what this happened with the not that this is really the same thing, but it happened with the Ouya, where we got this digital platform where you can buy all these games and it's cheap and affordable, like you can get it. It's like
Not a lot of good games for it.
not a lot of good games. Like the best thing it had was Towerfall, and then Towerfall came to
for-
PS4. We got it on PS4, and then everyone dropped the Ouya.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just like it. I'm worried. I'm always like the same thing with the Steam Box or Steam Machine or whatever it's called. I don't really. I get that like Microsoft and Sony should not have a monopoly over consoles, like Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. But I mean, if you're already like a prominent PC like parts developer, why are you risking? I mean, I don't know how big of a financial risk it is for them, but it seems like it'd be a bit of a long shot to try and jump into the console market.
Well, I mean, it is a console, but it kind of is a PC as well.
Well, then that brings up the problem of like, why don't you just buy a PC?
Yeah. Well, it gives you the convenience of a console. It's like working like a PC, but it gives you the convenience of a console because you could play it on your TV with your couch and your controller.
Except we know we could do this. Yeah, I know. I don't. What's strange to me is I don't know who this is for.
Right.
And I have the same problem
really
with the Steam
have
Box.
too much of a target audience.
Because like it's not for us. Because if we want to, we can just hook up a PC. We know how to do that.
Yeah.
And if we just buy our console. We already have a console. We're gamers.
It gives you a better layout to get to your games though.
I guess
It's a little
true.
easier. It's a little easier to access all your games and everything.
I mean, but if you're just running through Steam, I don't know.
I
No,
would,
I get where
I
you
would
come
rather
from.
just go with a PC because I have one device to do all my
Well,
stuff.
see, that's the thing. Is like, well, then, are you selling to a more casual consumer, who they're gonna buy from NVIDIA? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't. Like, that's a brand that we know.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, there you go. But it's like, NVIDIA, and they're like, so does Apple make? Like, I'm not saying people are stupid. People are not stupid.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like it's for the casual consumer, and it doesn't seem like it's for like the hardcore gamer
Yeah.
who already has a PC or like a beefy console at this point.
Right.
I don't know. Anyways, I think after that, I think we're gonna take a bit of a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about fighting games. Hey guys, welcome back to the Next Generation Podcast. Earlier we talked about PAX news and some recent
happenings.
happenings
Yeah.
in the video game industry. But now we're going to take a little time to talk about fighting games since Dominique isn't here. He's not a real big fighting game fan, so we wanted to take the opportunity to.
Because we like fighting games.
We
Fighting
like
games are
fighting
fun.
game lots.
Like I said before, I just like trash talking people.
Yeah, we're big trash talkers, not gonna lie. Anybody that's played with us would know. I think one of the biggest fighting games that's going to be coming out in the next year or so is Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
And you just recently watched the trailer. We're a little bit behind on the news.
Yeah.
But they got elemental attacks. They have. It seems like there's some environmental stuff, and a big thing is where it sits in the timeline. Because you actually don't know this, and I get that. Third Strike, Street Fighter 3 is like
Right.
that takes place way after 4. 4 is way earlier. And then it looks like this 5 is set in between them because Ryu knows the Denjin Hadouken now, which is like a technique that he doesn't have in 4.
Uh-huh.
And that like allows what it practically does in the game is he hits you with it. It's like, you know, like how he used to have like the Shinku and Metsu Hadouken, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like Metsu Hadouken.
Yeah.
Instead he like does like a stun Hadouken. It's like stun locks you.
Oh.
So he like shoots you with the Hadouken. It's like
That sounds really good.
it's really good, yeah.
Yeah. It looks really cool.
Yeah. But like we're really excited for that. Like what characters would you like to see return? Assuming, you know, whatever. Because like
Well-
right now they've announced Ryu, Chun-Li, and Charlie, who's like another guy. He's the guy that trained Guile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's been around a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I main Jury, so I would like to see her again. I don't really see them not putting her in the game.
Yeah, she seems pretty popular with fans.
Yeah.
I don't know where she ends up by the end of the 4 story. They actually they do have like a story in the series. I don't believe she dies, so I wouldn't be surprised if she comes back, especially because she is a rival with my main character, which is Cammy. And that seems like the perfect, thing to carry into the future of the series, assuming they're both back. We don't really know what happens to everybody in between 4 and Third Strike. That's what's interesting, because Third Strike has like a drastically different cast. Like almost nobody returns except for like Ryu, Chun-Li, and Akuma.
Okay.
I believe is like the only people that are the same. So, and Makoto. Makoto's there too. She's like, "What's She does her karate stuff.
Yeah.
But no, like it's like really exciting. The graphics look fine. The one thing I wouldn't say it's great. It's interesting. Is PS4 console exclusivity.
Yeah, yeah.
Which it's a little bit of a curveball.
Yeah, because the previous Street Fighter games weren't really exclusive, were they?
No, they've always been.
I remember some of them were on Xbox, and then like my cousin had the game on his PC.
360 for like it's been like kind of the lead on a lot of like depending on where you go, they use 360s for the Street Fighter tournaments.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see just PS4. Like they've been pushing it with like fight sticks and stuff that are like cross compatible and everything.
Yeah.
It's just I'm interested to see where they take it though. In terms of fighting games that we like a lot of anime fighters. We actually just started playing DOA 5 because I never really got into it at all.
Neither have I. I played it like a couple times, but like I wasn't really big on fighting games at the time. But now that I only recently started getting into fighting games after meeting you. But now that I do know some of the stuff, like I can actually play it now. So it's gotten a lot better. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, Dead or Alive 5.
Dead or Alive 5, okay, because you were telling me about this. Their tournament scene is having a bit of a problem right now with the outfits.
Yeah.
Because, okay.
Yeah,
like,
they soft banned a lot of outfits for tournaments. And some of the banned outfits don't really make sense.
Like the ninja outfits.
Yeah, the ninja
Those are the ones that
outfits.
we were looking at earlier.
Because
like,
the ninja outfits are pretty well covered.
Except for like the only problem is there's like netting around their breasticles.
But that's like ninja outfits in a lot of things.
I know. I just think it's kind of funny because we were talking about this. Like it's kind of contradictory coming from the DOA 5 devs.
Yeah, like
these people that have been peddling.
They've made a
women
reputation
for
for
years.
themselves, and all of a sudden they decide to start banning some of the outfits for being too quote unquote
risque.
sexy. But like considering their reputation, like I understand it depending on the tournament.
I think like nowadays, with the advent of streaming and like Twitch and stuff like that, they're trying to make more of a push to get DOA 5 popular.
Right.
And to do that, you don't want your product constantly coming off as sexist with INA in her little overalls without anything underneath them and stuff like that. It's I kind of get where they're coming from a marketing standpoint, but when you get into the game and everything's bouncing,
and
all the girls,
the game. That's how the games
are in like Santa outfits.
Yeah.
No,
But like, I get what you're saying, what you're saying, and where they're coming from, and everything. But I still really don't understand how some of these outfits could be banned.
Like, how would you? Like, I guess, what would you do if you're in their position? I guess.
It really depends. Like, I get like the whole marketing standpoint and everything, but considering their reputation and everything already,
you think you would stick to your guns?
I would stick to my guns and just go with how we've been doing it for like a long time now.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's the big appeal of the game. So
it's funny because we were playing it though, and we actually found that it's like there's a lot to it. You were saying it actually feels like I'm fighting a bit, and you were like you're a black belt.
Yeah.
So you have some say in that.
Yeah. So like. It's a good fighting game. It has the mechanics are solid.
Yeah. I put it somewhere in between like Street Fighter, like it's like Virtua Fighter in terms of like it's got the 3D and it's got a more realistic grappling system and stuff like that. But then it's got some of the silliness that Street Fighter has with like some teleporting and some stuff like that.
Yeah, and like my first impression of it was like it looked kind of like Tekken, but like after actually getting hands on,
Speed's really different.
it's a lot faster. And then like you saw me doing like some of the little switch ups on you and stuff, and you were doing some switch ups on me, and you're like playing mind games with each other, and yeah, like it's pretty solid and it's a lot faster than Tekken.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of weird to me that like instead of just pushing the gameplay nowadays, they still kind of push the girls.
Right.
And like I get that some of them, like we were even talking about, we like two of the new girls, Mary Rose and Honoka.
Yeah.
I like Honoka and you like Mary Rose. And we're like, man, we're trying to say these things, but then we still like the cute, silly anime
And
fight
that
girls.
just kind of comes with us being guys.
Yeah,
guys being
well, that's
guys.
the thing, though. It's just kind of like it's weird. It has a double identity at this point.
Yeah.
I think the series is trying to be serious and trying to be a tournament fighter, and then it has this weird, like, sexy sexual undertone
Didn't they make
to
a volleyball version of it at one
it. Yeah,
point?
Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Yeah.
I think they made 2 or 3 games. I mean, that's gonna sell. Let's be honest. Just
like,
all the fighting
how,
girls.
Like,
and
how are you
bikinis.
gonna get people to be serious? Well, the soft banning of the outfits, but like,
Well, that's what the.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we come
Yeah.
full circle on it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like you kind of get it, but you kind of don't. It's like a half and half thing. So yeah, like going back to your double identity thing.
I guess that's the problem. That's the problem that like a lot of video games nowadays run into. Of like, we're trying to push these towards like this supposedly massive teen male audience
Mm-hmm.
instead of trying to diversify our product.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, we play Ultimax a lot too.
Yeah. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Or what was the full name again? The full title?
Oh, it's like Ultra Suplex Hold.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember the suplex
It's Persona 4 Arena Ultimax Suplex Hold.
Persona 4 Arena
Ultimate Suplex.
Ultimate Suplex. Yeah, Ultimax Suplex Hold.
There you go.
Yep.
I think that's like, at this point, that's probably our favorite anime fighter. Like
Yeah.
I like Guilty Gear, and I've tried to play Blaze Blue.
I haven't had a chance to get into Guilty Gear. I played Blaze Blue, and while like I think Blaze Blue is okay, I understand like the whole appeal to it, why a lot of people like it, but it's not really my kind of fighting game because it does play very differently.
Yeah, everyone's got their own crazy system going on. Like I like that, and I dislike it because it's like it's super inaccessible to newer players.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to dumb it down. I really do like it where it is. That's the thing. I'm not a big fan of Blaze Blue. I'm more of a Guilty Gear guy. I like the aesthetic of Guilty Gear more. I feel like Blaze Blue does delve a little too deep into like kind of the fantasy aspect, where I really like the dumb, like heavy metal Guilty Gear universe.
I saw some.
Everyone's got chains and belts and whatever going on.
Yeah, but so far we play a lot of Ultimax. I haven't had a chance to get third sign for Guilty Gear yet.
Yeah, Xrd.
Xrd.
Xrd. XRD.
I hear third sign. I hear Xrd. It's
Do
like,
you?
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore.
But yeah, Ultimax. It has like assist. It was the game that was able to really get me into fighting. Well,
Yeah.
the Persona 4 Arena, the original Persona.
I've
4
done this
Arena.
too. I did this. You were not the first I've converted to fighting games. Just under Arena. I think Arena is super great. Any game that allows you to like build upon what you learn, like slowly but surely. Like,
Yeah.
you start off auto comboing, right?
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people do. They start pressing square.
Yeah.
And then
You start learning quarter circles and all that stuff.
like every character is pretty much universal inputs. Once
Yeah.
you learn the inputs for one character, you can carry them over to another, except for like Mitsuru, I think is the only charge character. You just hold back and then you release forward to do a move. But I think it's really good to have a game where like you don't feel like you're being burdened with all of these different moves and combinations and stuff. And all the characters are great. The Persona universe is great, and Persona 3 and 4 characters, especially in Ultimax, are like they bring a lot of personality to the game.
Yeah.
You don't need to play the RPG series to like really catch on to it, and I think that's what makes it great. Plus, the art's gorgeous. With all like the
That's
cell
the thing
animation.
about anime fighting games is like they're able to last a long time because the art doesn't really date. Like anime art style is gonna stay the same for a very long time. They're not really gonna change it, and so it really lasts.
Yeah, that's the thing about like anime fighters from like the 90s all the way till now. Like they don't get old. They just kind of keep like if you go back and look at like stuff from like Third Strike and stuff, that game's like oh geez, like 15 years old or something, like more than that. That game still looks great. Still looks. They just when you really they re-released it on a PS3, and all they did was add online and just like cleaned it up a little bit.
Right.
It still looks great. It's still totally worth playing. It's just like anime fighters. While they kind of have like this weird rep of like not being like, some people don't take them seriously. They look at Street Fighter and compare it to
Part of it is the fact that they incorporate the auto combos. But I think the auto comboing system is a good system because like it gets people into it. It teaches them how to play, and it doesn't do as much damage as if you were to input the combos yourself.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. So it doesn't really break the game, but it helps get beginners into the game.
That's the thing. Like, we had your younger brother come in. He can do some auto combos. It's good to find people of lower skill levels to play with each other. They can experiment with the game. I actually got into Arena like a year after it came out and just started playing with friends, and all of us, we were just auto comboing, and then I started experimenting with the quarter circle stuff and figuring out all that for the game. I had more experience with the game, like those fighting games, because I've been playing Street Fighter for a while and stuff like that. But no, it's still, you learn, you build. I think it's important, and I think that's a great series to start with.
Right.
I think it's probably like the series we come back to the most. We still play Ultimax all the time because it's totally worth playing. The game's smooth as butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of fighting games, it just comes down to finding a balance between accessibility and like depth.
Yeah.
The only series I really have a problem with, and this isn't anything against the players of the community, I just don't enjoy the game as much nowadays. Mortal Kombat. I'm still looking forward to X. I still think it looks fun, but at the end of the day, when I go back to 9, I get bored.
I never really got into the Mortal Kombat series, and I totally get the appeal. It's like super gory. It was like known to be like the big gory game that everybody wants to play back in the day.
That's the reason the ESRB is invented. Was because of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and like as cool as it is, I personally find it to be a little too slow for my liking.
I get that, and I feel the same way about like Tekken stuff too. I think Tekken's in terms of a 3D fighter, I think it's too slow for my taste.
Right.
It's very methodical, and there's a lot to it, and you can juggle people with tag-ins and stuff. But like Mortal Kombat, like it's still not interesting to me. And like I don't need big flashy 80-hit combos like Marvel, but I need something that's like, I don't know. I don't even know what I like. Not that. It's not what I want.
Another game like Killer Instinct. I had a chance to play that a little bit, and like
that
while
game's
it's
insane.
Those combos go on forever.
Well, that's the thing though. Is like that's like a really skill-intensive game.
Yeah.
You can break combos and stuff, but it's like a guessing game a bit, and it's really about like getting into your opponent's head and like counter breaking them and stuff like that. And
it's a fun game, but if you're playing against someone that's like really good at the game, you're just gonna,
and that's the thing. I think that's they provide a lot of accessibility for that game in terms of like tutorials and stuff, but like you can't just go up and that's like any fighting game though, and that's the problem. Like I think it's the one barrier that a lot of people see in fighting games. Not that they're difficult to master, but they're difficult to get into.
And what did help me a lot with it was my first time playing the game. I went to this one place.
Which game is this? I'm sorry.
The Killer Instinct.
Okay.
I went to this one place. It was one of those. It was like, I want to say arcade, but it's one of those places where they have like all the consoles and stuff lined up, and everybody could just get on and just start playing. Like they have the Wii's, they have Xbox and PlayStation. Oh, I know what you're saying.
PC. It's like kind of a pseudo arcade.
Yeah, so it was one of those things, and I went with Arnold, and neither of us have played Killer Instinct before, and so it gave us a chance to like just kind of get into it without playing against like a really skilled guy.
I think that comes back to what I was saying earlier. Finding people that are on your skill level that want to get into the same game as you. People with interest are like people with interest that are on your skill level give you a chance to like mess around, make mistakes, not get punished, not lose half your health bar after one missed attack.
Yeah. Although I did learn the game a bit quicker than Arnold did, so like I started kind of destroying him after like 30 minutes of playing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I mean, Killer Instinct is like actually, I really like the system that they implemented in the new one. Like the reboot. I also just like the aesthetic of it. I don't have an Xbox, but I like started buying all the music for Killer Instinct because I love the music.
It's got great music. It's a cool looking game. The graphics are nice. But yeah, like it is kind of a very skill intensive game.
No.
Yeah.
I think in terms of like when you look at like top level play, you look at like Evo and stuff like that. It gets a little intimidating. Like when you look at like all the stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
Like Smash. When you watch Melee,
Oh,
like at a high
God.
level, it looks like it's just being played by robots.
Yeah.
Like actually insane. I think in terms of and like people always have this debate of like is Smash of like really a fighting game? I think Melee's a fighting game. Melee's if that's not a fighting game, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
That is mind reading beyond compare.
Yep.
I think in terms of depth, I wouldn't say it's like, oh, this is so much deeper because it's make your own combo. You have to figure it out on your own, man. I think you can still learn optimal combos and stuff for Melee. I think it fits in right with all the other stuff. I'm glad we have a fighter like that to kind of diversify what the fighting game community looks like.
It's still the best Smash Brothers game at the moment.
And like 4 is great.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with 4. Melee just like in terms of like the silly stuff you can do.
Yeah.
How people have broken the game over the past decade and a half.
Yeah. What is nice about 4 is it is more balanced than Melee. Melee isn't very well balanced at all.
Melee's like got like a pantheon of like 10 good characters and then everybody else.
Yeah. Like you can do way more stuff in Melee, but you're just gonna have to deal with the balancing issue. Whereas with 4, if you don't really care about like being able to do all those crazy stuff and you want just like a balanced game, you got
4 is still great, and you can still do a lot of stuff with 4. That's why I think I wouldn't be surprised to see it at Evo for the next few years. I don't think it's gonna fall off like Brawl did, where it's just that everyone's like, "This is boring."
Yeah, it's still a good game.
No,
it's still
4
a
is.
very good Smash game.
I think 4 is gonna be. It's with trumping, like no edge guarding anymore and stuff like that. I think there's enough to diversify it from Melee that it's actually got its own place. Kind of like how like kind of Guilty Gear, like Xrd, and then like you look at Street Fighter, where it had like Third Strike next to 4 for a while. I mean, Third Strike eventually fell off, but it's like, I think there's still room for another few years of 4. I wouldn't be surprised if Melee outlasted it though,
Right.
Because that game has like an undying community.
Oh yeah.
Like, I looked at it today because I was like, oh, I need to get a new copy of Melee. I never had the game when I was growing up because I never had a GameCube. Yeah, it's like $70 on Amazon. That's like on average to get a good copy, not a new copy. New copies are like $200.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's like that community will outlast.
Very, very dedicated community to Melee.
No, and I'm glad it has one.
Yeah.
I think when you look at other games, they're not If a community is gonna last, it's gonna last because the publisher is behind it and it has not scholarships, funding, stuff like that, stuff to keep it going. Melee didn't need that. Melee just kind of ran itself for years.
Yeah.
Especially Nintendo was like, for a while, has been like, yeah, we don't want to have that in Evo. Like, it got into Evo through protest, stuff like that. Like, I don't know. The Melee community is insane.
Not in a bad way.
No, in a very good way, in a special kind of way.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Like, we could talk about fighting games for a lot longer, but I think at this point we're just going to be rambling about how much we love Melee and Persona and Street Fighter and all that. All right.
Yeah.
So we will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening to our podcast. If you want to check out our other stuff, go to next-gennation.com or check out our Facebook, Next Gen Nation.
Next Gen Nation group.
Next Gen Nation group.
Yeah, we weren't able to get Next Gen Nation.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Next Gen Nation group. And if you want to check out our YouTube, it is also next.
We don't have a custom URL for the YouTube channel yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways, go to our website.
They changed the way you do it, so. Yeah. So.
YouTube. Anyways, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.